The Boston Bruins have finally made a move, and a move at that fans have been waiting for. Oliver Wahlstrom has been placed on waivers by the Boston Bruins, and this means that more moves are coming. I'm going to be breaking all this down, what this means for the Boston Bruins, and who we could possibly see called up here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know since 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot for all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins, and we have our second video of the day already and more Boston Bruins news, and this one is a big one that a lot of fans have been waiting for. Not just a move, but a move that has been a long time coming, almost since he got claimed on waivers by the Boston Bruins, and that is Oliver Wahlstrom being placed on waivers. This comes up from Frank Cervelli first. NHL waivers today, Oliver Wahlstrom from the Boston Bruins. And as we've mentioned, Oliver Wahlstrom has been a guy who has really not had anything going here for the Boston Bruins. He had limited assets, also limited games with this team as well, but certainly did not kind of fulfill his destiny with the Boston Bruins, did not become the guy that turned this team around from the beginning of the season. And when we're looking at his stats this year, and obviously not the greatest kind of season for him as a whole, 6 points in 43 games, but only 2 points with the Boston Bruins as well in his tenure, and it certainly was not what we were hoping for from the 24-year-old, local guy, and we thought it would have been a nice thing to get him home and kind of have that atmosphere around, and hopefully saw what he did as a kid when he did a 360 Michigan from the front of the net in minor hockey at TD Gardens, but this move is something that was bound to happen. We've been waiting for something like this, and now with Trent Frederic going on the IR, going to be out week to week, we have created another roster spot with Oliver Wahlstrom being placed on waivers. Now, of course, he's likely to get claimed, although if he doesn't, that would be something pretty cool to see. Have him kind of work down there in Providence, come back up at a later date, and hopefully see something work out. But right now, the more important thing is, of course, the NHL. So when we're looking at, of course, Oliver Wahlstrom as a player this year, it really was not his season. As I mentioned, 2 points in 16 games, but looking at the consistency that he's kind of had earlier on in his career, he was never a guy that was going to put up so many points that would blow you out of the water, but it was certainly enough where he could be a good, middle six guy, a guy that the Bruins could eventually use, and especially being as young as he is, he's a guy that a lot of people can, see some projections in his future, and hopefully he does go down to Providence and, not go claimed, and hopefully goes unclaimed, and we can have control of him still. Because I do think that possibility is there for future, just I don't see it right yet. But when we're going else as well and kind of looking at his what he did for the Boston Bruins, I guess is a good way of putting it, or what he didn't do, I guess is a better way of putting it, his contributions here, and this comes from Bench Rates on Twitter, go check them out, actually a pretty cool page. You kind of see his only positive thing on the ice for the Boston Bruins was the faceoffs, and defense was pretty good there too. But overall, his contributions, his whole kind of assets to the Boston Bruins offense was exactly the opposite of what we were looking for. And, I don't think, as I mentioned, we didn't expect anything crazy from Oliver Wahlstrom, but we were kind of hoping it would spark something, just create something, some momentum to go at this, the rest of the season, of this Bruins season that was ultimately kind of stuck in the mud and now even further down in that mud. But it is time to move on, and it has been time to move on from Oliver Wahlstrom, and that kind of comes as well from the morning skate where we saw Oliver Wahlstrom being that 13th forward, and funny enough, he also did lead the skate, or the stretch at skate, and then, 2 hours later placed on waivers. Very interesting to kind of think about how things like this can happen in this industry, and, I guess you can say your job's never really safe, but although this team was still, kind of work some things out, the lines here that we saw from this morning skate, this is kind of ridiculous. When you're looking at Oliver Wahlstrom there, who's now being sent down, you have guys like Riley Tufte there as well. Cole Koepke has been in and out of the lineup as of late, has definitely cooled down since the beginning of the season, but it really questions where guys like Georgi Merkulov and Fabian Lysell are. And you've probably seen from my Twitter account there, Bruins Digest, go follow that on Twitter or X if you're kind of looking for all of your Boston Bruins news and funny little tweets like this, but I kind of was like, I don't know how you don't have Georgi Merkulov or Fabian Lysell in this lineup. And as I mentioned, we're looking at this, Riley Tufte, Cole Koepke, guys who are not playing well. Justin Brazeau, someone who is really seeming like he's going to be traded. I'll have a video on that tomorrow now at this point. it is kind of crazy to think that you're seeing two of these guys, two of the future parts of your team, not coming up here and getting some reps in with the big squad, getting some reps in, with players that they're gonna have to get chemistry with sooner rather than later. And when we're kind of breaking down the lineups that we see game in, game out, and kind of the way the team's been playing, we certainly need some more offense. We certainly need some more, guys who are quick on the feet, quick on the ice, guys who are nimble and agile, and both of those guys, Merkulov and Lysell, can bring that. And just seeing the options that the Bruins are choosing to have this lineup in, rather than putting these two names in your lineup, I think it's just genuinely crazy, and I hope that these two moves are going to be happening soon. And as I mentioned, there are more moves that are going to be happening here with this Boston Bruins team, especially if you do place Trent Frederic on IR or LTIR, or depending on whatever happens with this situation. We know he's likely to be traded, which is going to be creating another roster spot, but already we're getting that early with the injury. And now, getting Oliver Wahlstrom on waivers, that is getting another roster spot, meaning the Bruins are going to have two open slots to be able to make some more moves. And now, via trade, that's going to be an option at a later date. But right now, I think the Bruins are going to try and at least make some moves to try and get this team better. And we've been seeing Don Sweeney come out and say that we're trying to get this team to the playoffs. We're still not counting them out. And I think there's really only one possibility that this could be the case. And that's, first of all, trading a few of these guys away for some assets that are younger, are very talented and help now. And that may not be the easiest thing with what the Bruins have currently on this roster. But when we're looking at this tweet here from Scott McLaughlin, the Bruins could have two roster spots open once Wahlstrom clears or gets claimed tomorrow. And Frederic to the IR could be the other. They've got 12 forwards right now. Have to imagine there will be at least one call-up, but nothing official as of this afternoon. And as I mentioned, two roster spots. One for sure now with Wahlstrom clearing or getting claimed, and another with Frederic going to the IR. And he will eventually get to that point because he's out week to week. There's no point in keeping him in this lineup if he's not going to be playing the next 4 games or 7 days, which is the limit to be on the IR. There's two names in my mind that I think could be pretty good on this lineup right now. And, kind of clever timing, and I think this could be a pretty good plan. I think this is the most logical plan that we're going to be seeing, and if this happens or not is still yet to be determined, because Don Sweeney has not helped this team out at all this year. He's been, leaving these players out to dry for the most part, even though he's not the one on the ice, he's not the one skating, he's not the one on the bench either, but he has control of changing this roster around to make something work, and he's yet to do that. Oliver Wahlstrom was really the only claim that, was put in by the Boston Bruins, the only kind of move from outside that was made to be able to help this team. Tyler Johnson was another one at the beginning of the season, but other than that, if you think those two guys are going to help the team, I'm afraid that you're wrong, Don Sweeney. But these two guys right now are ready to come up. There's no doubt about that. And with what the latest has brought us from the Boston Bruins, those moves are going to be made soon, or have to be made soon. The option is there. It's right there for you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Do you think we're going to see the move, bring these two guys up, get them in the NHL for the rest of the season, and hopefully, start their careers off here and get things going? It's time. We've been mentioning it's time for these to happen, and there's no better time than the present where the Boston Bruins need to win. So let me know what you think here in the comments below. Do you think this is bound for those moves to happen? Let me know what you think. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And I will be having a video or going live tonight after the Bruins game, so be sure to stick around and hit the sub button for that if you want to tune in. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.